Sometimes when you want to tie a square lashing, you don't have any of that sisal or manila natural rope, which means that you might have a synthetic rope which is quite slippery on spars and on itself, and it can be really hard to do a proper square lashing using the usual techniques. And so there's a special technique with synthetic rope, and works a bit differently from the way the usual square lashing is set up. So imagine that we've got the load. This is going to take some weight, like at the step of a ladder that we might be making. So the weight's coming down here. Normally when you start a square lashing, you'd put your clove hitch here, but for the Prussick square lashing, which is what we're doing, we're going to start above our load bearing spar. And we're going to start with a Prussick hitch, and that basically involves folding your length of rope in half and having this loop that's right in the middle of your rope. And what you're going to do, and I'll get this out of the way, is to do a Prussick hitch, which basically means take the whole length of rope round and through that loop like that. And we're actually going to do that again. So we've taken it around and through, and we're going to go around and through that loop again, like so. And I recommend that you probably even do this a third time. This particular rope actually grips reasonably well, but the idea is that you have enough turns that it's going to grab a hold of what you've got. So there is a 3 loop, you could even do 4, Prussick hitch at the very start, and you want to sort of tighten that as much as possible. Okay, and so now let's put our spar that we're going to attach back into position. So remember, the weight's coming down here, so the Prussick hitch is above that spar. So what we're going to do is use both strands of the rope at once. So from now on it's actually fairly quick to tie. And this bit we do just like a regular square lashing. So we're going to go over the spar that's on top, so we're going to go on top of the spar that's on top, we're going to go behind the spar that's behind. So over the top, down, go under the spar that's behind, which means we're going to come up on the left hand side, bring everything through, tighten as we go, stay on the left hand side, go over the spar on top, and now we go under, and that allows us to change sides again. And tighten, come up on the right hand side, go over the top on the right hand side, go under, a little bit tighter at the back, and around you go. And you'll notice that because we're using double thickness, all of a sudden we've got 4 wrapping turns completed, even though we've only been round twice. So there are our 4 wrapping well, we've been round twice, but we've effectively got these 4 strands happening here. So now what we need to do is we now need to do our frapping turns. So the frapping turns run around sort of between the 2 spars, so around the middle here. So it doesn't go below, doesn't go over the top, actually sits in the middle and tightens. And the way we do that is to split these ropes up. So this one's going to go this way, this one I'm going to make it go this way, so they're going to meet, cross over, around like that, and again tighten as we go, because these frapping turns are the thing that make things really, really tight. So around we go, and we should do at least 2, possibly 3 frapping turns. So I've got, I think, about 3 there. And again, the tighter I can pull that, the more secure my square lashing is going to be. When I've done my frapping turns, I just need to finish things off. And we finish off on the opposite side from the Prussick hitch that we used to start things with. And because it's synthetic rope, we probably need to be a little bit careful about the way we join these. So a reef knot's usually not so good for synthetic rope. I recommend a surgeon's knot. And a surgeon's knot really is just a reef knot, but with 1 extra twist at the start. So instead of sort of going around and through, you go one more time around, and then tighten that off. Pull that really, really tight so you'll notice you've got an extra sort of twisty thing in the start of that. And then you finish off like a normal reef knot. So it's just around and through, making sure that, seeing as this one's going over that bit, make sure we're going over that bit there, which is what it's doing. So it's all correct. And that is your Prussick square lashing.